This is the men's room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hit ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
You're listening to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Hola, San Diego, 97.3 The Machine. Talk that rocks. Hope you're loving the new station, WAAF, and Boston's rock station, joining us in Bayou, 95.7. In lovely New Orleans, listeners jumping on there, as well as 105.3 The Bear in Blacksburg, Virginia. Welcome to the show. Random question coming up. Your guess is as good as mine, and men's room rules in our latest random question. What do you make from scratch? Anything in particular that you feel that you make better from scratch than anybody else?
Anybody else, I don't know. I'm a big soup guy. Make soups and sauces, dude. I don't know what it is, but I enjoy it.
I'm perfecting the art of the oven-baked chicken. That's what I'm going to. Used to be beer can. I'm kind of changing my game a little bit, making a hell of a good chicken.
It's only homemade if you brew your own beer and raise your own chickens, Miles.
But, Robin, you're going to love this. And you brought this up earlier. A guy named David Murphy from New Jersey. He went full Jesus and figured out how to make wine with his Instant Pot.
Really?
Yes.
Say more, please.
What did you make the other night on your Instant Pot? What the hell was it? Some kind of, what were you bragging about? Well, you put wine in it.
It was beef stroganoff.
How was it?
Amazing.
Was it really good?
It was so good.
Now, Ted and I have Instapots.
You guys gotta
don't use them. We've never taken them out of the box before.
You gotta do it.
Make wine. Make
this recipe. It's true.
Do they give if they do the recipe, one of the two of you guys has to make wine, right?
I got to get it out of the box first.
Dude, open the box.
That's really what
we can have men's room wine.
Yeah, you can make booze now. How are you not using your Instant Pot?
Not just for jail toilets anymore, man.
Then I read a story last week that they were catching on fire, and I'm like, I knew there was a reason I didn't open up that thing. That was just a bad excuse. But
try to tell myself that, too.
Right, exactly.
Just been busy. The whole point is it saves you time. Been real busy.
So this guy, David Murphy from New Jersey, figured out how to make wine in his Instant Pot. It took a combination of, Welch's grape juice, sugar, red wine yeast, and patience. So I kind of figured he would have to do like a grape mash or something. He's just going straight grape juice.
He's making wine in an Instant Pot, man. I think you're overestimating the amount of effort he's going to put into the ingredients.
He doesn't have a bladder press or anything. It took David 48 hours of cooking his juice on the Instapot's yogurt low-heat setting. Am I to assume that you can make yogurt?
Oh, yeah.
If it says yogurt.
It's got a yogurt setting.
All right.
How do you make yogurt?
I don't know. I had no idea about this.
I'll show you during a commercial break.
Let's see here. He's on the low heat setting. He vented the carbon dioxide build up every 6 to 8 hours and then let the stuff sit for 8 days to get rid of the fizziness. So does that mean he's basically making like a sparkly rosé? If not, or is it just sit? I don't know anything about making wine. David said the wine tasted like, quote, an extremely pleasant table wine with hints of dark cherries and raw chocolate.
You use Welch's grape juice, brother. Don't try to oversell what you've accomplished.
He said he can make wine out of an Instant Pot. That's pretty impressive.
Random.
Speaking of San Diego, say hello to Chicho. Welcome to the men's room.
Say on the radio. Sucker, mother, and please keep those words in mind when calling. Now back to the program.
I have to admit, I'm not shocked by that.
Random.
Hello, Andre. Welcome to the men's room.
Random.
Hey.
Hola. What's happening, Andre?
What's up?
How are you, sir?
Pretty good. How about you?
We're doing all right, man. Let's get you a random question here. What would you say? All right, let's go this way. What would you say is your most valuable possession? What do you have that you cherish?
Most valuable possession?
Yeah, it's either money-wise or
not on your body.
It could be.
Excluding your penis.
Probably my car.
It's up to you, man. Depends on what you value. Is it a monetary thing? Is it more something that you probably couldn't replicate?
If I could steal your car or rob your home, what is the thing that would upset you most if it's missing? It could be an urn full of your father's ashes. It could be a gold bar in a safe.
I mean, I have car insurance, but yeah, I would say my car.
What kind of car you got?
Is a Cadillac.
All right, what year?
07.
Okay, all right.
What model?
CTS.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I'd steal that.
You do it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, I don't plan to, but I'm saying, yeah.
You're a man of few words, aren't you?
No.
Yeah.
That's the response. No.
2 letters. 2 letters.
What kind of car you got?
I'll
You could have
give you
said a
2 letters.
2007 CCS Cadillac.
Oh, boy. The reason we asked what is your most valuable possession, the U.S. government became an accidental rap mogul as they won an order to seize 2 rare albums from the guy Farmer Bro. Remember him? He's been in jail. Martin Shkreli. In 2015, the pharmaceutical executive bought the only known copy of the Wu-Tang Clan's Once Upon a Time in, is it Shaolin? I don't know how to say
Shaolin.
it. Because I've never heard of the album before because there's only one copy of it. He bought it for $2 million. He later got into a public dispute with the members of the rap group, at one point releasing a video in which he, surrounded by masked men, threatened to erase Ghostface Killah from the album entirely.
Yeah.
What? What?
I guess he had individual tracks on this thing, too, so he could just kind of mix it down and take somebody out of it if he wanted to.
He just didn't like Ghostface.
So in late 2016, he claimed to have acquired the only copy of Lil Wayne's unreleased The Carter 5, even playing what he said was part of the album's first track online. And then in August, Shkreli was convicted of securities fraud. So he's been scamming people for a number of years. Both of these transactions he bought with his own money, but as far as the investors and what he was doing with that money, that is why he is in jail awaiting sentencing for that. So a judge revoked his bail in September after he publicly offered $5,000 for a lock of Hillary Clinton's hair. That did not go over well. This guy is...
Why, first of all, why would you want anyone's hair? And then why would you spend money on anyone's hair?
I think at that point in time, he just did not care. Like, his whole attitude was, I'll just throw it in anyone's face.
But wait, what happens when you make that much money, all right? Because we talked a little bit last week. You talked about people that collect weird things, right? So it's people like Nicolas Cage. Mm-hmm. And he had this, that, he had this, he had this, he had that. And the only difference is, like, people that aren't super rich do things like collect stamps. You know what I'm saying?
Correct,
and then
yes.
once you're rich... Paul Allen, like, he's a lunatic and has all kinds of weird crap. His sister's off the rails. She collects weird crap. Nicholas, this guy, Hillary Clinton's hair.
Government, in papers filed in federal court in Brooklyn, said it wanted Shkreli to forfeit about $7.4 million in assets altogether. A federal judge granted the motion, ordered more of forfeiture. So basically, not only does he have to get rid of these 2 albums, which the government now owns, but they also own a Picasso painting as well. And $5 million, which hopefully will be given to some of the victims of his scam. So they're going to give some of the money back, and they're also going to auction off a lot of this and make money, and
you know what?
Hopefully pay back the people that he screwed over.
F that, man. The governments are leaving people high and dry forever. I say instead of that, and I feel like the Smithsonian might be missing out on something, like the Smithsonian Asset Museum. All right, so here's all these rich people or wealthy people or whatever it was, but through the course of history, here are the things that have come into the possession of the federal government, which, not to put too fine a point on it, means all of ours. So I feel I would go to the Smithsonian, like, to be able to sample a bit of Wu-Tang. Like, look, you're not going to hear it anywhere else. Here's a 3-minute clip, all right? And you get to see the album behind the glass case. Here's the Picasso. Should be in some other museum, but this was seized from the sky. Because there's all kinds of
we know
very interesting. Think about all the stuff that Nicolas Cage had to give
That's
up.
What I was
to
say. Maybe
the
private collections of people that aren't really like, not necessarily like the Paul Allens of the world that have enough money to buy whatever they want, but what is it, Phil Collins that has all the, is it the Alamo?
But he gave the stuff to the Alamo. But I don't want to see that stuff. I want to see.
I would.
If Phil Collins got busted and he had to give away that stuff, because to me, that's the story. Otherwise, the only story to me is that you took the time to collect this, which is cool, and that's great, but there's no story to it. You were interested in this. But if you said, look, Phil Collins got busted because his receding hairline is so insulting to people, and he had to give up his stuff, I'd be like, ooh,
like
I want to see this
Lars
stuff.
from Metallica has an impressive collection of art.
I don't want to see it. Don't care.
But if you walked into Mark Wahlberg's house and he had a Picasso on the wall, you'd be like, dude, you'd be like, I got a Picasso.
Right.
And he'd be like, no way.
Check it out.
Yeah, look at it. It's Picasso and stuff.
I did Transformers 9.
Exactly. He probably does.
He's not Picasso, I bet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you would be surprised. I bet you would be surprised who has what.
You know whose house I'd like to see is Mayweather Jr.'s.
Dude, I got news for you. And I know Mayweather's got a lot of money. And I don't think anyone's going to argue this. The man is not smart. All right. So Mark Wahlberg, I could see having a Picasso. Floyd Mayweather would have hired someone and paid him $400,000 to recreate the Bulldogs playing poker.
Well,
saying,
but that's
this artist did. He's the guy that would have hired Leonardo da Vinci, if he were alive at the time, to repaint the Bulls would be like, yeah, it's Leonardo da Vinci, but you got the Bulldogs playing
But
post.
I think Ted's right because you're right that he's not the brightest guy in the world, but you're right that he would just open the door like, this is the Hall of Hamsters. And he'd open the door and there'd be like 9 million hamsters.
That's what I mean.
Close the door.
He would own Picasso's not to resell just because I think he'd want to say, hey, that's a real Picasso.
Yeah, but the difference
Right?
is...
Like, the man doesn't drink, and he keeps his house loaded with high-end champagnes and stuff because he just wants to brag about having it.
Huh.
He's the kind of guy that doesn't eat the lobster, but he's going to order more. You know what I
Just
mean?
let it sit.
Just because he can. So
How
say,
much money did he make
has-
off that fight with McGregor?
Oh, over $200 million.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, look, the guy, if he fights, man, like, he's set, man. He's set. I know he's got great car, but I just feel like he'd be like, that's a 24-karat gold Tweety Bird.
How long was that fight? Was that fight
like
an
10
hour?
rounds.
Was it an hour?
It's 30 minutes of fighting. I mean, 30 minutes of fighting, got a minute between rounds, so 40 minutes,
Yeah.
45
all right,
minutes.
all right. So how much money did he make?
To lose, McGregor made, what, like 60, 65 million?
Okay. All right.
Trust me. Floyd Mayweather
Any one
is
of us
by
yeah.
far the highest paid athlete.
Other than-
right, he's only got to work for like an hour. It's a tough one.
It's
Other
not like
than,
he gets a lot of endorsements. He's
other
not the
than-
guy you want as your spokesperson, but everyone else, here's your contract, and then with endorsements, maybe you make what he made to go fight someone for 30 minutes.
You don't even if you had stock in something and you got a line on it and you made a lot of money one day, you would never be able to make that much money that quickly.
Not
Is there
legally.
anybody else that could legally make that much money in that quick a time?
Other than being like Mark Zuckerberg.
Other than inheriting it or
an IPO.
Right, or one of those deals where you become an instant billionaire in a second. I mean, the actual time
There's
involved.
Powerball.
There's Powerball.
I'm
but
already
$200 million.
I mean, you got to hit it, right? That's why Powerball, not the lottery, but Powerball. And
Everybody else has to play seasons. Dude's got to fight.
Mm-hmm. Yep. 30 minutes.
Random question, 844-999. Ola, hold the line. More of your calls coming up. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
Ola Bichola, you have entered the men's room.
Men's Room rules coming up. All the rules that you have helped create throughout the years at mensroomlive.com. We will review a few more and maybe put those into law coming up right before we drink a toast with the shot of the day. In the meantime, it is our random question. Question 844-999. Ola.
Random.
Hello,
random,
Steve.
random,
Welcome to the men's room.
Random.
Hello?
Hola.
Hola.
Hello.
Hola, bitches.
Hello, Steve.
Hola.
Hola. Ah, okay. There we go.
Okay, let's see here. All right, let's go this one. What have you bought on the secondary markets? What have you bought? Maybe not on the level.
Say it again?
What have you bought on the secondary market?
Ooh. Man.
Well, that might incriminate me.
Well, it depends what you bought.
Are we talking to like a guy that just turned into a woman that just turned into a man?
Well, I was driving. I had to pull over.
Oh, sorry. Okay. All right.
And when he drives, his voice gets very high.
I was wondering. He sounded like a woman, and now you sound like a dude. That's amazing.
Well, I'm a former Marine, and one time on the secondary market, I bought an automatic weapon.
Okay, what kind of automatic weapon?
.308.
And on the secondary, how secondary was this market? I'm guessing a cash exchange.
Well, it was shortly after I got back from Iraq, and it was a dude in the woods in the middle of nowhere in Colorado.
Wow. Now, let me ask you a question. Is this the same type of gun you used when you were in the service?
No, I was a sniper.
Okay, so...
Now, wait, when you say you bought it from a dude in the middle of nowhere in Colorado, had you prearranged this deal, or did you bump into this guy, start talking, and then you realize you had a gun you wanted to buy?
Oh, no, my dog and I walked into a bar, which was about, 200 square foot, and got to talking to a guy.
Okay.
And he mentioned he had it.
And you said, I know all about those. I would like to have that.
Well, yeah, anytime you can shoot 90 rounds in 30 seconds, that's awesome.
That's, okay. And what would that normally cost?
Oh, well. Yeah.
Is the sound in the background the dog you walked into the bar with?
No. He's since been dead.
Uh-oh.
Killed him for making so much noise.
Okay. Yeah. That happens.
90 rounds, that's $100.
No, but how much would
the weapon itself?
How much would the gun cost?
Oh, that cost me $1,000.
Okay, so that cost you $1,000 on the secondary market, right?
Yes.
What would that cost you, do you think, if you actually went and bought one new?
Bought one new, that's $5,000.
Okay. All right. So that's a hell of a savings. Well, if anybody can operate this piece of machinery, I'm going to assume that it's going to be you.
Yeah, but I'd also put an equal amount of money on the guy that lives in the middle of nowhere in Colorado.
Yeah. That's a fact. The reason we asked, what did
How
you
do you
buy?
think it would have been if I walked into that bar?
You wouldn't have been offered a gun.
No, I think I would have. I'd just be on the other end of it.
Touch it.
Reach for my gun.
Please.
Reach for my
Please.
gun.
I don't know. I don't think that's safe for anybody to be going into the woods to buy guns. Just sounds odd.
Yeah, it does. It
But
sounds
like if
scary.
somebody said go, and I get it,
But where's it? If you're buying a gun on the secondary market, look, man, we came from the East Coast. We lived in Baltimore. I knew a lot of people that had a gun. I knew one person that had a gun legally, and I hate to say, but out of probably, in the course of my time there, of 50 people I knew that owned weapons, just in all my years, one of them legally actually owned a weapon. All the rest, but where they chose to purchase their weapons, I'm like, that's as shady as meeting the guy alone in the woods or going to this corner, that house.
I'm with you. I'm just a city
We're
person.
just used to it.
So the idea of going anywhere deep in the woods to buy anything to me is like, this is a bad idea. It's
I would
gonna end
guess
bad.
that if you were a Marine, and in that situation, though, you'd have a pretty good idea of dangerous surroundings and what would be okay and what not, and you probably would bail appropriately.
Well, obviously, he lived in the area.
Yeah.
If you wandered into a bar in rural Colorado, in the woods, in the mountains with your dog, I'm guessing you lived around there.
Two are accused of selling balloons filled with laughing gas under a bridge on an interstate. Orlando police arrested two men for selling nitrous oxide, known as laughing gas, under the interstate bridge. Police say Ramon Claudio and Bryant Geminian face charges, including illegal distribution of nitrous, which they also know as hippie crack. According to police, officers patrolling the area found two men selling balloons filled with laughing gas. So this is illegal now? Is this a nitrous we normally would just take? And
nitrous oxide's always been illegal.
It's always been illegal.
What about a Whippet's illegal?
Yes.
Dude, I got Whippets at the corner store.
Yeah.
I can go down there and buy a whole entire canister of them.
But they don't tell you to do whippets. They understand.
What am I going to do? Make freaking whipped cream?
Right. They understand. Put it this way.
That's what most people are doing.
Oh, really?
If I sell a spoon to a freebaser,
okay,
like I'm not selling him drug paraphernalia.
Yeah.
I'm selling him a spoon. Even if he's shaking and he says, I need a spoon to cook my Coke. It's like, they're in homewares over there.
Right.
Right. So if you
But this is the Coke.
It is. But here's the thing. Like when I worked in restaurants, we used it to make whipped cream. When we were done making whipped cream, we did whippets in the water.
How do you make? Okay, so do you have like a pressure? Like
basically,
how do you use it to?
It's after you've kind of made your whipped cream, it'll keep it. So every time you squirt it, instead of having to re-whisk it,
okay,
to thicken it back up, and you spray it out, and it's like the aerosol container. And
But try to buy that stuff. Like if you just work in a restaurant and you want to go buy that stuff, like that's why they keep it under like lock and key now.
Okay.
And this and that, because
that's why it pays to work in a restaurant. Because again, when you're done with the whipped cream, and trust me, before the whipped cream ever makes it in there, everyone know this. If you see them spray whipped cream on your dessert at any restaurant, the mouth of every line cook has been on that canister because they all did whippets.
These guys are great, man. The officer said both men had earpieces in and walkie-talkies to help them avoid being detected by police. They look like bouncers at a nice club, man. They were hooked up in the earphone.
How did they get busted?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Both started running when police approached them. They used a taser to tase Claudio.
Oh, they tased me.
Bright balloons were still scattered all along the stretch of the street as construction workers continued to make project, they say, on the I-4 interchange. Police said the two men were carrying business cards on them that said tie-dye whippets, which is a term for
Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah, from sucking it out of the can there.
Come on, man.
They do say that you're cool if you're a dentist. You can have the stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, but
and guess what dentists do?
That's not real.
They do whippets.
Random question, 844-999, hola.
Random.
Hello, Dylan. Welcome to the men's room.
Liquor and oars.
Dylan,
How's it going, fellas?
we're doing good, man. How are you, brother?
You know, another day at the office.
All right, Dylan, let's see here. How old are you, man?
23.
23. All right, you can do this.
His name's Dylan. There's only a certain age you can be.
You've only been drinking for a little while.
I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller, so I'm stoked.
Okay, well, cool. Dylan, you drink every once in a while?
Say that again?
Do you have an alcoholic beverage every once in a while?
Every once in a while is an understatement, but yes.
Okay. Have you ever, what drinking trend have you jumped on? And I'll explain. There used to be a thing called Zima. Then it came back. Drinks kind of come cyclically, as far as...
talking about like the Zimas or like the Irish car bomb?
Moscow mules.
When that was big.
There's all kinds of drinks that kind of come in and then they go away. Like,
there was a guy next to me, I swear to God, last week, I've never heard anyone actually order it, and it was the Moscow Mule, and me and this guy, we started chatting, I'm a cool enough guy, whatever, and I get a beer, shot of tequila, and it's like, I love another Moscow Mule, and I'm just like, I don't even know what's in it. You actually drink that.
Oh, they're delicious.
What is in it?
Just ginger beer,
what's
vodka.
in a Moscow Mule? I've never heard of it.
Oh, it's more of the vessel. It's like a copper mug. If you see someone walking around with what looks to be like a copper coffee mug, it's more than likely going to be a Moscow Mule.
But wait, what's in it again, Ted?
Oh, okay.
Vodka, ginger beer. What is it, lime or mint?
I don't. You know what, man? Just order. You're not going to not like it.
It's summertime. If you like ginger,
what is
summertime, it's awesome.
A couple years ago, and I can't remember the drink. I don't really order mixed drinks. But what was the one that had all the leaves in it? Mojito. Okay, that had a little run for a little while where everybody had to have a mojito.
Well, part of the reason it's not as popular is because bartenders got tired of muddling all the time.
I'm sure. Well, I get tired of masturbation, but I still go at it.
I do not.
Right. So...
A mojito sounds fun to say.
How about, and it could be a beer. Like, IPAs are becoming very popular, but if you've been through the IPA phase, maybe you just kind of like something you can sip on a little bit easier nowadays. But what drink trend have you been a part of?
A drink trend that I've been a part of is, screwdrivers never do me wrong, but big beer guy, so, anything cheap, Ice House, it's always fun.
All right, so right now you're going for volume, not necessarily over quality, but apparently over quality. So it's more of you want more beer, not a decent amount of good beer.
But that's the age, man. I mean, look, dude, when I was 23, it came down to this. How much money do we have? And then this was our math. How much money do we have? Divide that by the number of cases of Milwaukee's Best we can buy. Mm-hmm. And it's never been a good beer, but man, now it's like, look, I'm going to buy 1 6-pack of, and then it's something I actually like.
Right. Instead of buying a good Stone IPA or a good IPA like an Elysian Space Dust, we would buy a 40 of malt liquor because there was enough.
You know why you drink malt liquor?
Just to get messed up.
No, for the same reason that homeless people drink it.
Stay warm.
Because it's cheap,
right?
And it gets you messed up. They're not drinking it because it's good. Look, I think that should be a general lesson, right? And look, economics play into what you're going to drink, but if homeless people are drinking it, it's probably not good. Homeless people drink Mad Dog. Remember Mad Dog? Yeah. Not good for you. Never had a good night because of Mad Dog.
Oh man, we cleaned up there was an area where some homeless people had been relocated, so there was this park, and we were going to go there for a day and do the cleanup work on it. And I learned a lot that day. Ice House Tall Boys, they have probably the highest percentage of alcohol in a can or something like that because those cans were everywhere. I mean, there was no other option on beer. It was almost like that was the only option you could get if you lived in that park.
But think about it. They did not produce this beer because this beer is good. But it's like you can produce a beer that you're proud of and you take to the television airwaves and you advertise your beer. And then what you do with beers like that is we kind of call it the homeless advertising, which is when you get enough money to go into the store to buy something, their advertising is this is the cheapest thing.
Right.
But what they do, word of mouth, they tell their buddies like, hey, man, if you want to get drunk, Ice House Tall Boys, that's the way to go.
I had a buddy that swore by Ice House. That was all
he liked the beer.
That was all he drank.
But why don't they make a jingle like that? Like, when you're living in your van.
Because, I'll tell you why. Because the people, think about it like this: the people they advertise
don't have a television.
They don't have a TV, so your advertisement is the price.
Maybe they should do radio.
It's the price, right? They don't have a radio either. They got nothing.
You need a malt liquor in a can. All right. The reason we asked what drink did you jump on there? Apparently, breweries all over the country have started making glitter beer.
Come on.
Don't ask. The first brewery to do it was Three Weavers in Inglewood. But,
F you.
Now breweries in Colorado, North Carolina have also gotten on board. If you're wondering how they do it, the beers are made with an edible glitter that sparkles in the light, and the glitter is tasteless, but I guess it doesn't have any flavor.
Glitter doesn't have flavor now.
Apparently, it's hell on the brewing equipment, so they made enjoy the sacrifice you're making for the sake of your Instagram account. But
what is glitter not hell on?
Glitter is hell.
Other than children.
Glitter is hell.
Other than children, who likes glitter?
Strippers.
I don't even think they like it. I think they just do it to sparkle. I mean, honestly, why would you put glitter in beer? Like, who said, I've never met an adult who said the one thing I really wish I had more of in my life is glitter.
Please.
Random.
Those people are out there. They're a strange breed.
They do not exist. Hallmark needs glitter to produce cards. Kids need glitter to give you crappy art they bring home. Hello, Megan. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
What's happening there, Megan?
Oh, not too much. Just cleaning the house.
Are you cleaning the house?
Yes.
Is it your house, or did you break into someone else's house and you're cleaning that?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
What's the worst room in the house for you to clean? Like, what's the room you hate cleaning most?
The bathroom.
Okay. Actually, I cleaned my kid's bathroom over the weekend, and honest to God, there's a point, I thought that they literally took the toilet seat off, turned it over, pooped directly on it, flipped it back over, and reinstalled it. I lifted the seat and almost screamed.
Okay.
Like I was going to light their bathroom on fire and just say it's a total loss.
I haven't encountered anything that bad.
Megan, are you in a relationship or are you single?
I am married.
You're married, okay. And did you have a pretty extensive single life there before you got married, or did you get married right away?
We were together for a while before we got married.
No, I mean, did you date for a while
before him?
Before you met your husband? In other words, were you out there? Did you have boyfriends? Did you go out?
No, just a few.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm still going to ask you this question because you probably have had one, but it depends on the situation. And there's a study that and I'll get to it in a second here, but do you or have you ever before enjoyed is the key word here, a one-night stand?
Enjoyed
is the key word. Not had one. I think we can all say we've had a one-night stand.
Sure.
The key word is here,
don't you enjoy most of them?
Well, that's part of the study here.
I think in the moment, maybe,
but
recalling the experience, no.
Well, yeah, but that's like drinking. I mean, like, hey, I had a great night last night, man. We got messed up, had fun. The hangover sucks. There is the regret. There's stuff that comes later. But at the time, right, it's still a good thing.
Yeah, I think the weirdest part about a one-night stand, just in theory, is the fact that
someone wanted to have sex with you.
That was really weird. The other part about it was that we're so in contact with everybody now through social media and everything. Like, if we were together and had a good time and had great sex, all right, or whatever, I can't imagine me thinking to myself, like, hey, I'm not calling you tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, I might go like, hey, you got some time this week? Want to go to dinner?
Want to do it again?
Right, exactly. Like, I'm like, yeah, see a movie? Hell, I'll go to a play. I don't care. What do you want? Like, that would be the hard part for me, would be like, you sure I can't have that again? Right. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just being honest.
Yeah. I mean, if it's a one-night stand, it's kind of understood.
Oh, it's understood.
Okay.
I think you know going into it.
So you established the rules. You'll never call me.
I don't even think it needs to be said. I think you just kind of know, like, look, this is happening. This is great for both of us. And we'll never talk. We did that thing at a comedy club years ago, years and years ago. And when we walked in, and I don't know, we're meeting some of the other comics, and there's this one woman who was pretty funny, as I remember it. But
I think she was a comedian.
She was.
Yeah.
And but so we're kind of in this back room talking to everyone, and man, I just kept looking at her like, where do I know her from? It's driving me crazy, dude. You know, I go to school with her, and I'm asking Miles, does she look
She's
familiar?
looking at me like, I know where I know him from.
I did not know. So Miles was like, I don't know, man. I'm like, I don't know. And finally, so like maybe an hour goes by, and I'm like, oh, crap, dude. I remember, like, we had sex probably 3 years before that or something, but I'm like, I finally remember her, but like in this moment, someone's introducing us, right? But it is now clicked. So she kind of indicates that she remembers, how we met. I have only recently come to this conclusion. And I realized it was weird because I didn't know
now,
what to
if
say.
you saw her naked, you'd have known. Because in the context of how you know
weird
somebody,
mole.
like I saw a person that...
I don't know. You have to have something really
I saw a
special.
person over the weekend that I see 2 or 3 times a week who works in the coffee spot by my house. And when I saw them in this different environment, initially I didn't recognize them. Like I see them almost every day.
I did the same thing this weekend. I saw somebody at a sporting event that I'm used to seeing at a specific bar.
All right.
And then we were like staring at each other like, I know you.
But if you'd have been in that bar, you'd be like, Dad! Everybody would know each other.
I will say, the best one-night stand I had was, and I have not had many, but it was a girl out of my league, but it allowed me to call one of my better looking friends. This sounds terrible, but I was so excited to call him and be like, like, what's the word?
Eskimo brothers?
Yeah, I was like, we're Eskimo brothers. And he's like, what? And I was like, yeah, man, blah, blah, blah. He's like, all right, cool.
Was he as excited for you as you were?
No.
Of course.
I was clearly the more excited. He's a much better looking person than I am, so it was a good triumph for me.
But you also told us the one night stand you had where you didn't even recall that it had happened.
Yeah.
And you rolled over and said you picked up the panties, and it was just like they were of enormity. And it's like, oh no. And what was she like in your bathroom or something? What the hell was it? You're like, oh God.
She's in my bed.
Well, how quick was the regret? I mean, was it just instant like, what have I done?
Yeah. The reason we asked you, do you enjoy a one-night stand? Now, there's some conventional wisdom that says women usually regret having a one-night stand. It's kind of outdated, and according to a new study, it is outdated. Researchers at the Norwegian University of Science and Technology found that women like one-night stands as long as two conditions are met. Any idea?
None.
Number one,
Condoms.
they're the one who initiates the one-night stand.
No problem.
Okay? Number two,
Bring it on.
The other person was good at having sex.
Well,
and that second condition is definitely more important. The researchers found that even if the woman initiated it, if the sex wasn't that good or it was just mediocre, he was bad in bed, then there was regret. Because I went through all this process, and then at the end, it wasn't worth it.
Well,
However, if you're good in bed and you can take care of it, they're like, no problem.
But that's like going out to dinner. I don't regret it unless the meal sucks. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
Thanks for that study.
Yeah, exactly. How about that? Who knew? Random question. 844-999-OLA. Hold the line. More of your calls coming up. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Coming up, your guess is as good as mine. The categories: population around the world and military power. We'll do your guess is as good as mine right before we drink and toast with the shot of the day. In the meantime, it is our random question. Question 844-999-OLA.
Random.
hello, Sonny. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, bicholas.
Hola!
How you doing today, gentlemen?
We're doing good, Sonny. How are you?
Still alive. Got to count for something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sonny, I'm going to ask you this. What generation do you identify with that you're a part of? You know what I mean? Like, what generation did you grow up in?
Let's see. I grew up born in 1993, so I'd say I'd probably be part of the early 2000 generation.
Is that millennial? I don't know.
You said you were born in 93?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You would be a millennial. I'm just surprised with a name like Sonny. You're not like 99 years old.
No, it's one of those names that can come back, man.
Okay.
You know
All
what
right.
I mean? Like, I don't know. There was the Hunters and the Dylans and basically, they're all the names that describe an occupation, right? This is pilot. This is Hunter. This is Tanner. And then something's happened where everyone's gone back to all the old names now. I noticed that with my kids, like all their friends. It's like, this is Gilbert. Like, really? God damn. Sorry, Gilbert. Your name sucks.
So you're technically, Sonny, you're a millennial. Do you feel that do you fit the mold of the stereotype of a millennial?
I don't know. I look at a lot of the people out from my age, and most of them are all clean cut, clean shave. For me, I have my long hair, I have a beard, I go to a bunch of pirate Renaissance affairs.
Do you have a parrot?
No, I wish I had a parrot.
Okay, that'd be cool.
The Pirate Renaissance Affairs, are you actually getting dressed up? And if you do, are you part of the entertainment, or are you there just as a fan?
Oh, no, I'm actually there as an entertainer. I do a bunch of fire performance, like fire breathing, fire staff, fire juggling.
Okay, when do you determine that you want to fire breathe? Like, at what age do you go, you know what, man, fire's my thing. I think I can make something out of this. Like, how old are you the first time you try to breathe fire, and what did you use in your mouth to try to breathe it?
All right, so I originally ended up getting into fire breathing about a year or two ago, and it was at one of these Renaissance events that was called All's Fair. And a bunch of the guys who I was camping out with, they were the main fire performers, and it was like, hey, would you like to give this a shot? I'm like, all right, that sounds pretty fun. So they gave me this bottle and was like, have you ever done fire breathing? No, I have not. All right, we're going to show you how. This is how you do it. It's like blowing out of a trumpet, and you want a mist to come out. And what we used was this fluid called Parison.
All right.
And it's pretty much like a waxy liquid that when you breathe it out, it pretty much ignites when it hits fire.
Do you think that's the same thing that Gene Simmons uses in Kiss?
I don't know,
Sure,
maybe.
yeah.
Okay, I mean, is there one universal thing?
I would think
you know what I mean? Or is
whatever
it-
is safe. So, but how far away do you have to hold your ignition source from your mouth to blow this stuff out?
I usually end up pulling it away about a good 1.5 feet, 2 feet.
All right.
Because if you get any closer, the fluid could catch fire back towards your mouth.
Yeah,
and-
well, that's what I was going to ask.
Right.
And you said you have long hair, and I know that Gene Simmons, during their heyday, probably 3 times a tour at some point, would set his hair on fire.
Or burn the tip of his nose.
Right. I mean, he did it every freaking night, so
Yeah.
I get it. But have you burned anything on your face yet?
Not yet. Most of the time, before I do the performance, I would always end up like wet my face down, wet my beard, wet my hair, put my hair back in a ponytail, and tuck it into the back of my shirt.
All right. I want you to
Good
come
thinking.
to my... okay, let's just assume that. Maybe I've got a bunch of 13-year-old kids running around, having a party, birthday party, next-door neighbors, my house, whatever. I want to surprise the kid. I hire you. How much is it going to cost for you to blow fire? Like, Sonny, if I want to hire you to come over and just blow fire, how much is that going to cost me?
Hell, I'd do it for free just to be able to meet you guys.
Well, no. I mean, I know, but like, what would it cost, though?
Yeah, but it's miles. That's different.
I don't want you to blow it at me and catch me on fire because you hate me. I want you to do it for the kid's sake.
How about we tie Ted to... Ted's a hairy guy. We tie Ted to a chair shirtless. You blow fire on Ted, and how quickly all the hair... It's better than waxing, Ted. I mean, it's just one quick poof.
I don't know that I could breathe fire. I got short arms.
I think it'd be great to have a
If
bonfire.
I'm you, I would not, man. You're too hairy.
And then have Sonny come and light the bonfire. You know what I mean? For the big party. Like if you're at a festival or something like that, and you got your little bonfire around your campground or whatever, like he just shows up and...
He should be the
Boom.
dude that lights the kids' candles on the cake. Right.
Oh, the cake melted.
Hola! The shenanigans continue on the Men's Room Radio Network.